Okay, this is going to be another little sample video. I'm actually talking for this one. So we're just going to put out a little more of our moth green. This is the fourth unit I've done today. I've been tinkering with these videos a little bit. This one I'm actually going to be talking for because I'm in the room alone. So let's see what we have. Okay. So we've got mechs in the frame just to show what else is on the painting table. We're doing a direct focus. We've got a little bit of color on this one that I was sampling with earlier. Now we're going to just make some happy little armor panels. Don't be afraid to try. This is one of those things where if I can do it, anyone can, quite literally. Be gentle with the amount of paint you grab. You don't need to overload it. I still do from time to time. It's just part of it. But in this case, my intent is to have a little bit of each color on every angle. Every possible angle gets a little something. And as you can tell, I'm willing to spin the mini around and do what needs to be done. A little bit of shadow to overcome. I'm trying to go for camera lighting here, not personal lighting. Personal lighting tends to wash things out, as I am learning. Thank you for bearing with me, though. I know watching a novice to intermediate painter become a novice video creator can be boring. And at times challenging, as my second video shows, because my camera was not what we needed. You'll see that when it's up, but I apologize for that one. It's a happy little accident. I can work with it. Sometimes those accidents are just places where you can then add more. This was just going to be one little armor panel. Because of the way it flowed, I'm now doing the rim of the missile launcher, which will add just a little bit of character and something a little bit nice. And while, yes, I've done a lot of these mechs and I've done Thunderbolts before, like this guy, this is a different Thunderbolt. So I didn't pull out a reference. I'm letting this one speak for itself. I love you, buddy. There's dogs bark in the background. That's just part of it. We love our dogs. Even when they're barking, we love our dogs. Half the joy is you never quite know what they're going to do, when, or why. Never quite know, actually. Yeah, I'll do that and that. So from a front, sorry, I'm still learning. So from a front perspective and the top of the body perspective, it's a good splash of color. So now we're going to add a little something here to the back of the launcher. I think it'll lend itself well to this. And don't worry, I mean, I do some touch-up work as well. So my process is base coat, well, prime base coat, and then whatever the unit's going to look like. And then I start adding in one layer at a time. And I usually, like I said, I usually work on a fair number of mechs at one time. In this case, I've got 16 out. My reasoning is, when I put on a layer of color, it needs to dry. And I am not, like most ADHD people, I am not generally one who's going to ignore something long enough for it to dry. Instead, if I'm not forcing myself to do something else, I'll pick it up wet and just mess it up. And then I gotta clean it up, and then it's just frustrating. But if I lay out several and work on one color, by the time I get a pass done, everything's starting to dry. Everything's dry, everything's approachable, accessible, and functional. That's kind of why I do it this way. Most people won't, and that's fine. This isn't, you will do this my way. This is, here's how I do it. If you can pull from this, use whatever techniques you can find, whatever hints help. Because at the end of the day, I want that. I want people to feel like they can do whatever it is they want to do. Because I've said it before and I'll say it again. If I can pick up some mechs and some paintbrushes at 48 years old, like I did, and if I can grow this much in 2.5 years, maybe 3, because I don't remember exactly when I started this. I know it was after the Clan Invasion Kickstarter closed, but before it fulfilled. I want to say when it started fulfilling and I didn't get anything because I put everything into a later shipment together, that's when I started acquiring some mechs, because I wanted the experience of painting. I didn't want to wait for that Clan Invasion Kickstarter to land, which is my impatience. I mean, that's on me. But I would like to think that I have gotten better, and I know that I've picked up skills, and I know that I've picked up knowledge, and I hope I'm sharing it. So this company is very much a using the lines on the unit type paint scheme. I would like to experiment a little more with the third company, because the first company ignored all of those lines, and it was just slap paint on, make it look like a unique camo pattern, and move on, which was fine. It's what I needed at the time. It allowed me to produce, and then I experimented and I adjusted procedures. I changed how I was doing the glass on them. I changed a lot of things, and that's fine. That's growth. This company, I got mostly done with the Grenadiers, and I picked up a Hunchback, and I was like, you know what? This is going to become another mercenary company. Might as well plot it and plan it. My original thought was the greens, and I wasn't thinking clan colors or anything like that. I was just thinking, well, I just did purple, red, and blue. So let me use a different palette. Something completely different. A complete and total departure. So I ordered some paints. Got my wife's input, but ordered some paints. And then I started using them. And then when I got to this stage, I got a little disheartened. I put pictures up on Twitter and Facebook, and the most frequent comment I got was, "Oh, are these Jade Falcons?" Which kind of frustrated me because no, these are not Jade Falcons. But instead of getting upset about it, I started looking around and I found a color. I don't know if I had it or if I had to order it. The scorched metal color, the gold metallic dark color that I instantly fell in love with. And as soon as I popped some of that on that hunchback, oh baby, everything came together. So sometimes, no matter how much thought you put into it, no matter how much experimentation you put into it, you still have to make changes on the fly. And that's why a wise man said, there are no mistakes, just happy little accidents. Happy little armor panels, happy little accidents. In this case, we have almost completed this color on this unit. Yeah. A little bit here. I think that's a good spot. I think a little over here. And the front of that will be scorched metal. This little panel will be much happier with a little bit of moth green. Again, both sides. Both sides. Okay. And then do these. And these. And I have plenty of room for scorched metal. Plenty of room for the accent, the final accent color. Put a splash of color there. Splash of color here. And I know some things on Battle Mechs would look more metallic. I get that. But metallic or metal can pick up paint. It doesn't always have to just look metallic. Now in the next company I am going to use a little more metallic coloring. But I'm also going to be doing different paint techniques because I'll be using speed paints and some other fun little things as experiments. And that's out of the range. Sorry. Sometimes I get a little excited and I go too high. That's my fault. This arm is bugging me. This little armor panel. It's a little too uniform. A little too uniform. Yeah. I think on these guys, just a touch here. And then over here, just a little bit. Because again, the color will flow just a little bit. And in the end, we end up with something that looks about like this. And when we come back to it, we'll get a little bit of scorched metal. Then it'll be touch-ups. And touch-ups for me are a very personal thing, so we'll see if I video those. It's me determining how much bleed between colors is okay, how much undercoloring should come out, and I have to fight with my ADHD a lot, because at the end of the day, good, not perfect, is my goal. But the old brain mass is driven by the ADHD, says, oh, you bastard, you need to be perfect. And I say, I'm not perfect. I've never been perfect. I won't be perfect. Go away. And I have to eat those feelings down, which is pretty normal for me. I deal with it at work all the time too. This weekend I did something brand new and it resulted in a lot of warnings that weren't real. But I'll tell you what, seeing those warnings pop up, there was pucker factor. And it was frustrating. Then when we learned how the process worked, it became easier and simpler. Okay. So, let's show off our Thunderbolt here a little bit. Let me put him on his jetpack, since he's got one. Got some jump trail here. This is awkward. Okay. So, we have here a Thunderbolt with cockpit, dragon green. Oh, I also found my green liner. So for those keeping notes at home, where is it? We wanted paint numbers from Reaper for what I'm using. Green liner 09308. Again, I do black primer for this company. I'm just talking about this company. I do black primer. I do green liner to accentuate the black. I also have my wash custom made. Some black, but green liner is the primary color in the wash because it's just for these mechs. Then I put on my dragon green 09410, my jade green 0915, my moth green 09248, and my scorched metal 09125. All Reaper mini paints, again for this company. Next company, we're going to use a mix of Reaper and Army Painter. The next company uses Cloudburst Blue as an example, speed paint. I'm also going to end up doing a video about Army Painter paints. I might even get some Citadels at some point and try those out. I need to do the testers example video, and we go from there. So this is a sample treatment. Let me know your thoughts. Thank you.